middle of the screen. It's like one of those things that we did last time. You guys
Hey,
remember that?
hey, we're live, Lo.
I know we're
Why
live.
you
Why does it
talking over
matter?
me? Why don't you introduce the show, Lo? You introduce the show.
All right, welcome everybody to a Chaotic Sports
I need to get some Oreos. I didn't even watch the first.
a YouTube session here. You could find us on YouTube Live right now. If you're watching this, you're already on it, so you know that we're on Twitter, Chaotic Sports Podcast on Instagram. We got Chris Sarda here, but he's not here. His picture just disappeared. At Chris Sarda on, what is he on, Wayne? He's on Instagram, right? At Chris Sarda.
He's on. I don't know. He's got to change it. That's his Chaotic and Comics right there. But
no, that's Chaos and Comics. We got Never Do I Lose, right here. Wayne, right here at Never Do I Lose, and I'm Angelo Saboro. Let's kick it on, huh? So what are we going over, Wayne? We're going over episodes Last Dance 7 and 8.
Yeah, it should be a good little review of what happened and a discussion. A lot of stuff to unpack. I'll tell you what, though. I mean, not to spoil alert, but I'm excited for this next episode where they show the Reggie Miller interactions with Jordan.
Yeah, I feel like we should have had that already. I mean, the one thing I have been bothered about is that they've been bouncing back and forth big time, right? They're going like 4 years ahead, 4 years back, 4 years ahead, 4 years back. I want to kind of just see something flow. I don't know if you guys noticed that, but it's kind of throwing me off.
That's been the whole thing,
Yeah, I know, but I mean, it's almost like week to week. It finally caught up to me this week. I mean, I'm just it just seems like it's moving around too much.
To me, the worst was the Rodman stuff. They were doing Rodman stuff. Like I had to explain that to Gosha. Like she's all, I thought he was on their team because they're showing Rodman on the Bulls that year, and then they're showing Rodman on. You know what I mean? They're doing, like, if you know the sport already and you know that time and you're our age, then okay, you could figure it out, right? That's the Sonics. That's a different year or whatever. But this is not good if you're like a 25-year-old basketball fan. I guarantee you they're lost.
Yeah. Well, I mean, if you didn't know that for sure, you're thrown off right now because you're seeing him retire, him come back, him play baseball, him come back, him winning a three-peat, it's just like it could have been a little better flow, but it was a good story.
We have a sponsor. This sponsor comes in the form of a riddle for Wayne. Let's see if Wayne gets this riddle. Okay, Wayne, the riddle is, what makes Sprite better and what makes the Dallas Cowboys better?
What makes Sprite better?
And the Dallas Cowboys better?
Dak? I'd say Dak.
Oh, yeah. the Red Rifle, baby. Yeah.
Okay, so that sponsor, that's a new Sprite. Okay, that's how. I mean, I think the Sprite's going to be better with ginger than the Dallas Cowboys, but I mean, I get the joke.
Ooh, I think that you're mistaken, my friend. The Red Rifle is the real deal.
Hey, he's a TCU alum.
What's the over-under on the Red Rifle starting? This is supposed to be a Last Dance podcast, but we'll talk about whatever the hell we want.
0. It's probably 1.5 the over-under, and it's going to be probably 0 to 1.
Yeah, right. Hey, you're mistaken, dog.
He might start the last week because they're going to rest Dak for the playoffs or something. I mean,
I understand that you're hopeful, but
dude, I don't even like the Dallas Cowboys. You don't even understand that.
You're hopeful because you have Dak on your fantasy squad.
No, but dude, I know who the Red Rifle is, dude. I know TCU. That's Old Mountain West. I know that.
But the reality of the situation is that the one thing that beats an athletic quarterback in the playoffs is, in fact, a very accurate arm that can disperse the football quickly. Insert Red Rifle.
You must have not watched the NFL the last few years because you have no idea what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Because
Tom Brady.
Andy Dalton is not Andy Dalton has not been accurate or dominating in any fashion for years. You know that,
That's
right?
because their team sucked, man. I'm trying to tell
No.
you, the Bengals have been terrible for a decade. The Bengals are almost the equivalent to the Browns. Like,
For a decade, they've been like to the playoffs nonstop before that, before all this stuff.
all right,
It hasn't been a
it's all-
decade, you know that. It's
Hey,
probably
can
been
I
like a
bet
couple years.
Hey, I'm gonna do like Shannon Sharp and your Skip Bayless. Let's bet a case of Pepsi with real sugar. You know what I'm saying? Can I get that?
Dude, is that even a thing? I thought that was Coca-Cola with real suger.
Hey, one of my favorite things about Lowe, since he's become such a Dak, lover, is all he does is defend the Cowboys, but then tells you how much he hates them. Like he'll defend them. It's like, this is why Dak's good. This is why the Cowboys are great, but I hate them.
Dude, because you have to admit sometimes when a team's good, that you have to sometimes admit when a team's good, even if you don't like that team. You guys know how that is, and that's the Dallas Cowboys.
That team
Dallas
you're talking
Cowboys
about
are
was
good. They have athletes.
What were they? 2-?
2 and what? You got real silent real quick.
He froze.
Oh, he froze. Dude, you're so stupid. Like you're talking such gibberish right now that the damn system froze your ass.
Oh, he's
like
back.
you got froze, dude. You
He's
got
back.
the guile.
Wayne.
I just put the guile freeze on you, bro. The guile freeze.
Yeah,
That shit.
Flo don't know what
Put
he's
another
talking
quarter.
about, man.
Put another quarter in the machine because you just got froze out. Put another quarter in the machine and
You're back,
keep
Wayne.
talking.
You're back, Wayne.
Wayne, you got a
Flo-
quarter?
Flo
Put a
don't know
quarter
what he's
in, man.
talking about.
Hey, he froze again, man. This guy getting froze out.
In all seriousness, though, I think it was a great move by Dallas. I don't even like Dallas like that, but Jerry Jones made a good move.
You want to have a good backup. The Raiders got Mariota. Cowboys got Andy Dalton. That's pretty good backup. He's not you don't want him really as your starter, but
Who's
to have
the
him
better
as your.
backup?
What's up?
Who's the better backup?
Who?
Raiders and Dallas, Mariota and Dalton. Who's the better backup?
I mean, I would say probably Mariota, but we don't know how
Really?
healthy he is or how he's looking or what, right? I don't know what's going on.
I'm telling you right now, I'm gonna throw all of this hate towards the Red Rifle in your face all season next year.
I like Andy Dalton. He's TCU. He's Mountain West alum. That he's very good, but he's not. You don't want him as your starter for going into the playoffs or something. But
and to be honest, he doesn't have that killer mentality. He chose, he probably could have found a starting job somewhere. He chose to take to be a
clipboard
back.
watch. He chose to hold the clipboard.
Yeah, he chose it.
Only if the two of you knew anything about football. But
he might. He might want to be he's going to be probably a coach someday. I could see that for sure.
I stole that line. I can't remember which football player, but I stole that line from a football player that said that. He goes, Andy Dalton chose to be a backup.
Time will tell, my friends. He didn't choose to be a backup. He just knew that Dak was weak sauce, and he's probably going to be able to take his job.
No, he chose it just like how Cam's going to have to choose it, or Mariota chose it. I mean, sometimes Chris is right.
Cam's not choosing to be a backup. He's not out there because
if he signs, he is going to choose to be a backup. That's what I'm trying to say. If he signs somewhere, he's going to choose to be a backup, depending on where he goes.
Cam's not going anywhere where he's a backup.
Okay, then I guess he's not playing in the NFL.
That's why he's not signed.
He's partly because he's partly not signed because of the COVID and all this other kind of crap too.
Yeah, I mean, that's true. That holds it up. I mean, that's probably a lot of the reason Dalton actually went to Dallas. I mean, he has his house there. He's all set up already, so there's a partially too.
And he knows there's a high probability he could start. It's all good.
Dude,
that's the Wayne take.
You just sound stupid, bro. So don't just, hey,
I mean,
for everybody listening, for the 3 people listening, he's joking right now, guys. Sorry about this. They think you're serious.
And the guy that invented the light bulb sounded stupid before it really happened. So it's all good, man. All good.
Who's the guy that invented the light bulb, Wayne?
What's that?
Who's the guy that invented the light bulb?
Okay, write it down. because I want to see if
my
you
man,
know.
Edison.
I don't want to see if you knew. Okay, who invented the telephone? How about that?
Oh, that's
Write
a
it
good
down.
one. That's a good one.
Write it down.
Alexander Graham
Write
Bell.
it down.
Alexander
down.
Graham Bell.
No, I didn't want you to tell Lo. I wanted to make him look stupid like he was trying to do me. All good.
I mean, Lo
Well, hey,
really admitted that one. He didn't know
yeah,
that
but
one.
you brought it up. You brought it up. The other one, I didn't know the other one, the last one, but you brought the one up. Why would you bring something up? Why would you bring something up? Why would you bring something up if you don't even know it?
Because of course I knew that.
You didn't know that. Come on now.
No, I'm gonna tell you why I knew that. I'm gonna tell you exactly why. My high school was named as the dude that created the arc light, the street light that you swear you played sports in the street until late nights. The guy that came up with that arc light, he went to my high school. So
hey, you saw pictures of me in the street. So don't try to lie right now. You saw pictures of me on the street.
So naturally, I know the series. What's up?
Not Edison though. Who are you talking about that made the arc light? Because Edison did the filament.
Charles F. Brush. F. Brush.
I wouldn't have got that. So he made the light outside.
The arc light.
I don't know what an arc light is, dude. What the fuck's an arc light?
It's a street light, man. Google it, fool.
I'm looking now, dude. I'm looking.
Didn't he do so? Edison's it wasn't that AC though, right?
ARC, arc light.
Oh man.
I'm glad you know your school. I'm glad you know your school name. That's a start. But I'm just trying to check where your brain's at because you're talking about Dalton signed with the Cowboys to be a starter. Just sounds stupid as hell. So I'm just trying to do a little test on you. That's all. It's not.
No, that's the 100%. Hey, that's the 100% truth, man.
No. Okay. Can we get to the last dance?
Let's get to the last dance.
He is. But hold on. I just want to say this.
Last word.
Technically, he is currently the starter because Dak hasn't signed his franchise contracts. How about that?
That's not true either. Go look at the depth chart right now.
Technically, no one's the starter right now. Then, like, no one.
If you look at I guarantee you the depth chart right now will say Dak. So that's incorrect.
Yeah, I mean the only thing shallower than is this argument of Wayne's that he's going to be the starter.
I mean, if Dak gets injured and breaks both of his legs, then Andy Dalton will be the starter.
Yeah, that's what has to happen.
And Dak won't get his job back.
Okay. All right. That's the last word. Wayne's got the last word. Enjoy.
He got it in. Hey, so I have to admit something. I was doing a bunch of Mother's Day stuff for the first episode, so I maybe watched 30 to 45% of it. So you guys tell me what the first episode was about. And I watched enough of it that, and I know the story mostly. So just go back and forth about some of the stuff that happened in the first episode. What was some big stuff I missed? I saw the stuff about his dad, but just, how did it start? What I really missed was the beginning. How did episode 7 start?
Go ahead, Way.
So as a flashback, they started it out actually. And you'll appreciate this, Lo. They started it out with B.J. Armstrong playing for the Hornets back in '98. And it was a 3-game game 3 of the semifinals. 18 seconds left. B.J. Armstrong hit a big shot for them to win the game 3 in 1998. So that was pretty cool to see. B.J. Armstrong on a different team.
Yeah.
I don't remember them starting it with that, but we'll go with that. I mean, that definitely was in it.
Yeah, I don't think they started it their way.
I think that was like the 8th episode or the 8th episode.
No, yeah.
No. They started it with that. They started it with that.
Okay. I'm not challenging. Hey, I'm not challenging Wayne on BJ on.
Hey, he just went. He's backing out. Let him back out. Let him back out.
That's a lie.
I'm not challenging on BJ Armstrong trivia anymore, dude. He was right last time.
He was wrong last time when he said BJ Armstrong was in like the first episode of this whole show. He was wrong, and now he's wrong again. What's up with you and BJ Armstrong?
He wasn't wrong. Remember, we looked it up, Lo. You just remember something new.
No, I looked it up and he was wrong.
But no, they started out the episode was Jordan's 13 hit baseball streak. So when he was in the minors, they started out with his baseball streak.
It's such a fluff. It is. Trevor was right, man. I don't know why Trevor's not on here. I should have gave him the link, but that's such a fluff. He's right, dude. It's so fluff. It's so fluff, dude.
No, dude, it showed a lot of crap. It showed him like a lot of teammates saying this guy was pretty much an asshole.
Good stuff we knew.
I know, but what I'm saying is it's not fluffing it. It's giving us pretty raw stuff.
Let me ask you this: do you respect the fact? Lo, do you respect the fact that in the minors, Jordan hit over 200?
I respect that Terry Francona said with 1,500 more at bats, this guy's playing in the majors. I respect that. Sure, you guys saw that.
That's 3 years.
Cleveland Indians. Shout out to the Cleveland Indians making an appearance on a Bulls. Terry Francona is probably one of the most knowledgeable, best freaking coaches ever, and he gave a little respect to Jordan. So after I heard that, that's pretty legit.
No, but that's respect. But that's 3 seasons of at bats, Angelo.
I know. The whole point is you have to have at bats to learn how to hit. Baseball is not easy.
That's 3 seasons of at bats, and he's already probably pushing 30 at that time.
He was 31.
He was 31. So he's already older. So it's 3 seasons at bats. He's 35. He would get a cup of tea in the majors. He would be good enough. He would only been good enough to show up in the majors to sell some tickets, dude. He wasn't ever going to be. He wasn't ever going to stick. 1,500 at bats is a lot. That's Terry Francona being nice.
No, well, 1,500 might have been him just saying that, but still, 1,500 might have been 1,000. Still, Jordan was decent. He was better than people give him credit for. Is what I'm trying to say.
Super athlete. He's a super athlete.
Yeah, he's better than people thought. And 202 he hit. That's pretty crappy, but it's still 202. I mean, there's players that weren't hitting that when he was playing.
Yeah, he still walked in from a different sport. You know what I mean? And it's not like, you know what I mean? Baseball is a very specialized sport.
And he had 50 RBIs.
Yeah, he hit a couple jacks. The thing is, he didn't play baseball since he was 17. So that's that is walking off from dominating the best player in one sport ever to playing baseball at 31, and he was okay. That's still pretty good.
At a high level. It's still a high level. It's hard for me, Wayne, when you say he had 50 RBIs, though, it's hard for me to gauge that. I need to know how many games he played. I need to know how good the team, because RBIs, you know what I mean? People have to be on base for RBIs. I don't know how many games he played.
So put it like this. In the documentary, maybe it was more lending towards the Jordan fluff piece. But Terry Francona did say that they had top prospects that didn't hit 50 runs in. So that you got to give him credit for that.
Plus, he started. It was half a gimmick, but he didn't play in like rookie ball. He was playing like in single A. Or I mean, they jumped him up just like they jumped him up pretty high for what he should have started lower. You know.
Oh, I thought he made it up to AAA. He didn't make it to AAA.
Well, they started him in like freaking, I think single A or something like that, double A or something.
They started with. See, now this is my ignorance of baseball. So the first level, the entry level minor leagues is what?
There's a rookie league.
There's rookie ball.
There's a bunch of like random like small leagues, but where it really matters is when you get to single A,
double A,
and double A, and then triple A is right before the majors.
Yeah, so I think they started him.
Yeah, there's like a rookie league. There's a couple of lower levels, but for the most part, in your mind, you can think single A is the lowest, double A, triple A. I thought he went to triple A.
Just think batter rates, dude.
They started him, I think, at double A just because they wanted a little bit more capacity to deal with the media.
Yeah, so that's what I'm trying to say. Usually you would start in a little bit lower league and get some more play against maybe players that aren't as good, and you get more at bats, and they kind of put him into a higher league right off the jump, but he still did okay. And
the media issue's probably right too. You can't be playing in at the corner. You know, some of those leagues are like the corner store. You guys are right. So he actually played double A and stayed double A. So he never made it triple A.
Yeah.
Well, he only never really made it because the baseball was at a strike. And I respect the fact that the dude wanted to do it the right way and not go as a replacement player once the Major League Baseball was on strike in '94.
I mean, that's a smart move because he'd look like a super big douchebag. But I think maybe he might have learned from some of his other apolitical choices, like the not supporting that one candidate and stuff. Like if he would have done that, he would have looked. Someone must have told him to, like, hey, you're gonna look like a super shitbag. Because there's another part of me thinking the other Jordan, this is sort of fluff piece. The Jordan that just wants to win would have said, "Fuck it, I'm gonna go kill these guys in the majors." You know what I mean? So someone let him know that would be a really bad look.
Well, he got lucky that there was a strike, basically, so he could have just played a little bit of ball, then went back to the basketball.
Well, basketball fans got lucky.
So how about this? What if there was no baseball strike? Maybe exactly to Chris's point, we may not have even gotten Jordan to come back. I think he was just bored and was like, man, I don't have nothing to do. Baseball's on strike. Let me mess around with this basketball and see what I could do with it.
Well, I think he would have came back maybe a year or so later, but he was keeping up with the Bulls. You know, he missed it. He was watching highlights, and you saw him when Pippen was playing and stuff like that. You saw him looking at highlights in the locker room and stuff like that, right?
Yeah,
but I think
he was, and he went to the game. You saw him in the stands a couple times. That's cool.
Well, yeah, he's cool. Like you said, he was a fan of the game still, but he wanted to really entrench himself into baseball, and I think he fully enjoyed what he was doing in that as well.
I wish they asked him that directly, though. If they go, did you come back to basketball because of the baseball strike? Do you think you would have continued playing? I wish they would have just given him that direct question. And then however he answers, he answers. Yeah.
I think, and I think he would have stayed playing baseball, but I do think he would have came back to basketball a year or two after. Yeah, I think so. I mean,
as a Wizard? Sure. As a Wizard?
No. No, I think he just came back earlier because of the strike, but that would have been a good question to ask him.
Let's be honest, though. If this guy doesn't make it, if Jordan doesn't go play baseball, he would have lost 2 championships to Olajuwon. Can we just agree that that's the case? He'd had 2 L's. He'd had 2 L's against Olajuwon.
No,
what's this guy talking about, man?
We know that's not true, but we'll try to hope it was true. We'll try to hope Olajuwon would have got 1.
I think maybe the first year.
Yeah.
Well, if you think about it, though, he would have had to face Olajuwon, with that team that didn't have a rebounder. It's that the team that lost to Orlando. You know what I mean? He would have faced them. Who knows what it would have been, how they would have looked. You know what I mean? Where the hell did Wayne go? Oh, there he is.
He's still there, man.
Perry stopped by.
Let me ask you this.
What's up, Perry?
So with baseball, kind of slowing down, obviously in the NBA, obviously he wanted to play again because he was probably bored. But I do respect the fact that, how crazy is this that he just tried to hop in towards the end of the season, really, back when he decided to come back. It was like March of '95, I think it was.
Yeah. And he got deep. Did Low freeze?
No, I'm here, man. I'm just listening.
Oh, okay.
Hey, it's called letting your co-people talk,
Yeah, the Low goes like this.
I'm like this. Hey.
Yeah.
But he, at some point in March, he's like, you know what, I'm gonna try to play basketball again, and
dude, that's so funny, man.
Not be in basketball, and then go into the not to be in basketball, and then go into
dude, that's funny.
Late in the season.
I don't know how Wade's not laughing at this. He missed this whole thing.
Late in the season into the playoffs, that was pretty impressive. I got to give him some props on that. Granted, they didn't do well.
Hold on, let me knock up real quick. Hold up. Okay, he's unfroze now.
Hey, Wayne took all these notes. He's actually taking it serious.
I know.
Today,
that's what I'm saying. Hey, dude, I just said froze him. I just hit him and unfroze him. Yeah, Wayne is dropping knowledge with these notes, dude. I'm going off the top of the head, but I respect that.
Notes, and then
but you have to pay attention to the freeze game. We're playing the unfreeze game, and you're not even paying attention, Wayne.
Wayne, tag, you're it.
So, let's talk about Jordan. Let's talk about Jordan and his struggles throughout once he came back.
Well,
let me set it up for you.
Let's not call him struggles, though. I mean, it wasn't Jordan level. He made it to the Eastern Conference Championship, And his team, I don't even blame Jordan. His team just didn't have the size and the skill to beat, Horace Grant and Shaquille O'Neal, two huge rebounders.
And Penny they had Penny Hardaway. That was a good squad. That was like
I'm sure Penny Hardaway didn't have the series of his lifetime with Jordan guarding him. You know what I mean? And him having to guard Jordan. So the team struggled, Wayne. And I know I've been trying to cut Jordan down to being the devil's advocate here, but I don't blame Tom Brady for last year, even though I've been anti-Tom Brady for as long as you guys know me. I don't really blame Jordan for that year. Maybe he wasn't the Jordan of before. His struggles were like, with his, with wind and the way he was, had a baseball body, like he said, right?
Right, but that's what I'm saying. It's like Jordan, part of Jordan's allure and his legacy and his greatness was to be able to turn it up to that next level or that next notch in the playoffs. And I think that because he was in baseball shape, he just was unable to do it, which is understandable.
Yeah.
Well, he did turn it up. They waxed him the next year.
But they had rebounders. They had rebounders in size. So here's what I'm saying. If Jordan
and they went to a six game. They went to a six game.
Yeah. I mean, they had Shaq, man. That was like an awesome Orlando team, though. Let's not undercredit it.
Shaq and Horace Grant.
Penny.
What I'm saying is that if Jordan was at the level of Jordan that we knew, that Orlando, with the team that was around him, Orlando still might have won that series. Like Orlando was built better then. The next year they came around, they had Rodman, they had rebounders, the team was built better, and like as Wayne was saying, and Jordan, was in shape and had mentally planned and played in the off
to aspire. Exactly.
Yeah. So let's talk about that off season, dude, because I didn't know. I knew he did Space Jam then. I didn't know about those pickup games, dude. That was probably my favorite part of both episodes. Is like, how cool is that? That like, dude, you're filming green screen playing basketball for 10 hours, and then you're working out, and then you're playing pickup games, not against guys that want to play. You're bringing in pros. Like that looks.
Yeah.
I want to see those. I want to see that film. I want to see that film of all those dudes, all those high level pros and Sean Bradley, but all those high level pros out there playing like pickup games.
That was a dig at Sean Bradley, people.
Yeah, I picked up on that too. And then also what I want to say is give the man what's even cooler to me about that whole experience. And give props too, Chris, because you were hating on this unseen footage. That was some footage that we had never seen before. But what I did want to say is his competitive advantage to want to invite these players here to scout their game. That was like, Jordan, you are a dirty dog.
If you didn't know about the Dream Team, a lot of their practices was the best games that you'll ever see. But Jordan commented it on. He's learning what they're gonna do for when he plays them in the season too.
Yeah.
So he said he enjoyed playing with all of them, but he also was taking notes for the next season, the following season after the Dream. Yeah.
And what was cool to me though, like I said, was that there was a lot of younger players at that Space Jam, we'll call it a Space Jam arena.
So are you talking specifically all the Space Jam guys? Like, who was up in there? Like Muggsy Bogues and Larry Johnson and
no. It wasn't the actors.
Those aren't actors. Those are NBA players.
No, but on the footage that Chris is talking about, I saw Reggie Miller on that court playing. Juwan Howard was on that court playing.
Sean Bradley was there. Dude, big players were there. Patrick Ewing was there. Who else? I want that footage. I want that footage with them calling their own fouls. And then I want Wayne to watch that so that he doesn't call all his little ticky-tack fouls.
Yeah, that's true. If we got that. If Wayne was playing that game with them, they would have threw him out the damn building. They'd have been like, dude, you can't call a foul every 5 seconds.
Wayne's the worst. He calls fouls, and then he fouls, and then he doesn't foul me hard because I just dominate him. But then he fouls other geeky white guys hard, and then he calls the ticky-tack one. Like, that's the worst to be. That's the worst to be.
Wait, you have to learn, like in pickup game, you just basically don't call anything unless it's like outrageous. You know, that's just how it works in the streets.
Oh man.
Anyway, back to Last Dance. So we can't keep
Okay,
going.
I want to talk specifically something about Jordan, about his competitiveness. If you guys remember, they were talking about when he played against that when they were playing the Hawks, right? I'm pretty sure it was the Wizards. Was it the Hawks?
It was the Bullets. It was the Bullets.
Bullets.
They were wearing red. That's what you're getting confused.
Okay, so I liked how that guy lit him up for like 37. Do you guys remember his name? Wayne, look at your notes.
What was
I know
that
it starts
guy?
with an L.
LaBradford Smith.
There you go, LaBradford
There
Smith.
you go.
So,
hey, that was smooth though, Wayne. That you made it. You wanted to look like you just had it in your head, but I saw you look down and read it.
Oh yeah, he looked up. He looked down real quick, but he looked up like he was thinking.
Yeah, he did it real smooth.
So LaBradford Smith, who that was probably his best game ever, but he got a little cocky, threw up 37 on Jordan, and then told him. Well, no, supposedly after he told him, "Good game, wink, wink," or whatever he was telling him, right? So Jordan came back and they played him the next night in Washington. Jordan came back and said, "I'm gonna light him up. I'm gonna light him up for what he scored in the game in the first half," and he scored 36 in the first half. So he was a point off of what he said he was gonna do. Scored 47.
But then he said that he made it up. He made it up.
Yeah, he said he made it up.
Well, I didn't get that because I think he was like, I thought he was joking that he made it up. Like he was
no.
Yeah.
He just did something to make him compete.
Yeah. All right. I saw that part.
And that is kind of cool, and it just lends to his. It talks more about his competitiveness. So like he has to have a game within a game, to really rise to greatness. That's why. That's something that I do on the basketball court that you guys wouldn't recognize because you don't have that ability.
All right, let's not do this again. So fast forward. Let's fast forward like the Last Dance does. Then they fast forward to B.J. Armstrong when B.J. Armstrong lit them up, right, and scored and game winner and all this crap, right? And B.J. Armstrong was talking crap to the bench. That pissed Jordan off, and then he got him back the next game.
I mean, dude, BJ Armstrong's good enough to have a good game, but I don't even think Jordan needed. I mean, he needed the fire, or he took the fire and tore him up. But I mean, BJ Armstrong is only so good. You know what I mean? Jordan would have torn him up in a 7-game series.
Well, like BJ Armstrong said, he had his moment. That was just his moment. Sometimes people have their moments and they shine. That's all.
Yeah, so then he talked a little crap to the bench. It wasn't nothing serious, but that kind of gave Jordan that little extra. He would have got him anyway. We know that, but he gave him a little bit like, okay, my former teammates talking a little crap. I'm about to get up in his ass next game, and he did. Basically that's all I think that happened. Chris disappeared again, but
something that I liked within there, just speaking about BJ Armstrong. Is he basically said that it was difficult to play with Michael Jordan unless you really love the game. There was quotes, as far as practice, because they talked about how Jordan was just so hard on everybody in practice, man.
Yeah, so BJ Armstrong said that, and like you remember what was that guy, Scott Burrell? Was it Burrell, right?
Right, is it right? So did you even remember these guys were on the Bulls? This is what I'm talking about. Just random white.
No, just Burrell. Dude, Burrell's black as black can be. What are you talking about, Scott Burrell?
Oh yeah, how he was making fun of Burrell. That's true. Good call.
Yeah, so he was all over him. Like basically, he used to pick on him in practice. That was the guy. He'd be like, he would just challenge him in practice. Maybe make some comments at him. Like Will Purdue would make comments. All these players made comments, but they asked, I think Purdue said in one of those comments later in the series, he was like, you know what? I realized later that Jordan was a good teammate because he was pushing us. He wouldn't accept anything but the best out of you. And he was talking crap to you when you were shooting free throws in practice, and he was constantly messing with us. And then Purdue and all these guys admitted like that's what made us better in the end. So it's kind of like that Jordan cared that much,
Right, and Jordan talked about it.
No, he did.
About it in the because I mean, a lot of times people will play to the level that you allow them to, and Jordan just used his ability and his past experiences to force these guys to try to be great. And I respect that because he said he believed, a quote from the documentary specifically was he said he believed he earned the right. Because a lot of these guys that just came around after he already found some success. So he's like, hey, I earned the right for me to treat these people like this so they could come, and find success with me. I know what it's like to be there. I've been through the battles. He really looked at playing basketball as war, like that, like especially in the playoffs.
Yeah, I see that. The mental fortitude and stuff, I mean, you have to be careful with war, right? But I mean, definitely Jordan was out there to win, and you either jumped on that bandwagon or he was going to cut you down. You know what I mean?
But Will Purdue and all these players, Purdue and Burrell and all these guys said it in the end. They respect that because they realized that he did make them better and challenged them. He wasn't the best teammate, but that the way he was made these players better. So they kind of get it now.
Yeah, I think that makes sense, though. I think that's on it. How about the Steve Kerr incident? I mean, good for Steve Kerr that he stood up for him, but that like competitive level there was pretty intense. And then Jordan actually, I was surprised at Jordan's reaction. Like he actually apologized to Steve Kerr after punching him. What do you guys think about that?
I think I was asleep during that time. Go ahead, Wayne.
You fell asleep?
I think Chris has this perception that Jordan's just a straight asshole. I think he was only an asshole to his teammates during the period of practice and in games at times, just to build them up, to break them down, to build them up, to make them stronger. I think, like he was very charismatic off the court and interacted with all the fans and kids and things of that nature. So there was I think that competitive side really truly made him, hard to be around. And that's what I was telling Lowe. BJ Armstrong really said that the guy was on you so much that you had to, like, if you didn't love the game of basketball, it would have been really difficult to be around him and play and practice with him.
Well, I agree with everything that you said there, Wayne. Actually, the only like little thing I would change is that he wasn't trying to make those players better. He's trying to make the team better. You know what I mean? So, okay, those players have to be better for the team to be better, but he doesn't give a shit about he didn't give a shit. He doesn't give a shit about individually developing players. That's why we're going to find out why he fucked over Jerry Stackhouse and Kwame Brown. He cared about making the team better. He'll cut you down if you can't handle it.
Well, I do think he was trying to make those players better. Then you might be right about the Wizards players later in his life. Because like Kobe learned from him. Kobe supposedly wasn't the best teammate. He got on Shaq's nerves because he was trying to make them better. He was like he didn't want to accept anything else but the best.
I see Wayne's face, but it's a very subtle difference is what I'm talking about. Like he didn't give a shit about those players. Those players were all a tool. Do you know what I mean? He didn't care about Bill Cartwright or whoever's there, right? Either they were good enough to be there and they would get better because of his competitive spirit, but he would have cut them out otherwise.
So you think he didn't care about them as people or nothing?
But I think he had a standard or a level that he wanted you to play at, and if you couldn't cut it, you're out the door. And I respect that.
That's right, but it was the team he's trying to make better. He's not like.
So you don't think he cared about those players at all?
Right.
You don't think he cared about any of his teammates at all, or whatever?
I mean, he's still a human being. I mean, he doesn't want to see them die or something. You know what I mean? But I mean, he's a CEO. I think he was like a CEO kind of guy. Like, hey, if we need to cut you, we need to cut you. Here's these group of players. I think I can win with them. I got a rebounder, like with Rodman. Rodman's probably the only guy he gave a little leeway to. But he has the pieces he needs, and now these guys have to have this certain mindset. I'll break them if they don't. You know what I mean? But I know it's very subtle, Wayne, and I agreed 99% of what you said, but it wasn't like he's not trying to build up. He's not like, and this might be why he's better than LeBron or whatever. We're not supposed to mention LeBron in this fucking thing, but LeBron, I think is, he wants you to play well. If you get cut, you get cut. But I think LeBron actually cares about the people around him to some extent. He has to make certain decisions, but Jordan would tell you to miss your mom's birthday or something.
Well, I think that to go along with that, I mean, different leaders have different personalities. People have different leadership abilities. He was definitely more of that. Hey, get it right. I'm gonna throw this ball in your face until you react the way I want you to react. Versus LeBron is definitely more of a, hey, we're brothers, we're family type of thing.
Yeah, and that's the difference between the 80s, 90s basketball till today too. It's a little, so that's part of the difference.
Let me tell you this though: if I were, if I had that certain level of skill and I got to play with Jordan, and I knew this was my chance, and I'm like a role player, you know what I mean, like a Steve Kerr or a BJ Armstrong earlier in his career, dude. That's all I would do. If you're going to play with Jordan, you know how he is, then you need to be the guy. Same with Kobe, right? If you get the opportunity to play with him, that's going to be your best chance to get a ring. You know what I mean? I would be one of the dudes for sure, without a doubt. Want to win? This is my chance. I'm up there at 5 a.m. shooting free throws, and I'm staying afterwards.
I mean, that's how it is when you're on any new team, though. You just have to accept basically what Ray Lewis is doing in the locker room. It don't matter what you want. It don't matter what you want on the radio. You know what I mean? It's good. This is what's going to be on the radio.
I feel like with all sports, though, no matter what, I mean, you got to kind of prove yourself. I'm sure Low with playing baseball. You guys before you were really fully accepted on the team. Of course, you're on the team, but when cats know that you're going to really contribute or play, then they have a newfound respect for you.
And well, they want to see if you're actually playing hard, or you're going to show up every practice or whatever. You know what I'm saying? You want to see something.
I'm saying aligning with the intensity. Look, you're this role player or whatever. You're not going to be as good as Kobe or Jordan. I'm saying that if you got the chance to play with them and you have a role, you're not Kobe or Jordan. I'm saying that that's your opportunity. Like if I were on those teams with one of those two players, then I'm just doing what Jordan does. I'm like getting up at 5 a.m. with Kobe and shooting 1,000 free throws on the other side of the court or something, like that. To me, what I'm trying to say is, I know I've been saying Jordan's an asshole a lot during these, but I'm going the other way around. Like these players also should understand whose team they're on, the kind of player he is.
You're showing them your intensity.
Yeah, and buy in. You got to buy in. You know what I mean? Buy into that culture of working hard and winning, with Jordan showing up or Kobe showing up at 5 a.m.
Yeah, that's how I think of it. That's exactly how I think of it.
So I want to real quick. We're going to stay on The Last Dance, but I was listening to a Larry Brown interview, I think on Rich Eisen, and because it was the anniversary of the practice speech that Iverson did years ago. Practice? We're talking about practice? Where he said it 22 times or something. And Eisen was interviewing Larry Brown, and he goes, one of the things he said, that Iverson was this certain kind of player. He was as intense as Kobe and Michael on the court, but not so much off the court. Not so much off the court. And he goes, Larry Brown, he's quoting Iverson. So this is Larry Brown quoting Iverson. I don't know if it's true. He says, that Iverson, one of the things Iverson said recently after watching The Last Dance is that he sees Jordan going in at 6 a.m. to start practicing. He goes, Iverson says, a lot of times I was coming back from the club at 6 a.m. on a game night. So that's one of those things. As great as Iverson was, and as intense and hard a worker he was on the court, imagine him and the way he could have played if he could have gone to the next level with that sort of half the Kobe mentality, half the Jordan mentality.
I think that's like 80% of the players in sports are like that, though.
Yeah, but
they're not giving it their all.
80% of the players aren't as good as Allen Iverson. Right. Yeah. And then, of course, not Kobe or Jordan. So, I mean, it's almost a Mayweather thing. Jordan, Mayweather, and Kobe are almost the same. It's like, not only are they the best player of their era or of a certain piece of their, of the NBA, not only are they the best, the most skill and the most potential, they also put the most work in. And I mean, that's a big deal, I think. Like if you are the
biggest deal.
If you are the most talented and you put the most work in, you're not going to lose. Only an injury can stop you. Yeah,
that's true.
Yeah, you could have a guy like right under your talent, but he works twice as hard as you. He's probably going to overtake you, because of his hard work.
And we see that in boxing. We see that in boxing and MMA all the time. You know what I mean? We see a talented guy that, it hasn't happened to John Jones yet, but we see a talented guy that has problems off the court, out of the ring. And
They're like partying too much or something, right? Whatever
yeah,
they're
and
doing.
then gets beat by a guy that's a little bit more talented but working harder. Mayweather was never that guy, and neither were Kobe and Jordan. So
It'd be like Tom Brady is like such a hard worker.
Tom Brady's that too. Yeah.
Yeah, Tom Brady or whoever, Peyton Manning, like guys like that. Like
Tom Brady though is sort of the opposite to me. Tom Brady's the guy that works so hard and studies so hard and has super overachieved. Do you know what I mean? I don't think any of us would say Tom Brady is the quintessential quarterback. He's really smart and really good and has protected his health because of how hard he works and because of that competitive spirit that he has, like Jordan and Kobe.
Yeah. Well, quarterback, you maybe don't have to be the best athlete, because like Peyton Manning is another one where I think his hard work is why he was so good too. Like some of these quarterbacks,
Yeah, but Peyton Manning was generally built to be a quarterback, right? But Tom Brady's a little bit different, is that he overachieved with his hard work. The Jordan and Kobe stuff, they are the best. Probably would have been the best if they worked half as hard, and they worked super hard,
Yeah.
Well, that's just what made him great. That's all.
Yeah, I agree with you there. Let's wind it down. If someone has one more topic,
I feel like we didn't go over a bunch of stuff in the show.
I'll do more, but I'm at 45. Or you guys can finish up.
We could talk about George Karl. We can talk more about the Sonics game where they were playing in '96 versus Sonics and Gary Payton. Gary Payton.
We didn't even touch Payton. Jordan. Yeah, we didn't even touch the Payton stuff.
The glove. What happened, man? I think I was sleeping during that part. Go ahead.
Oh, you fell asleep during the important part.
What happened during that? Was that
it was just in '96.
Wait,
episode, right?
Wait. So this is an important thing just between us here, is that one of the arguments me and Angelo have had in the past is comparing dream teams. And Angelo's always, as great as Jordan is, and most people actually underrate him, Angelo a little bit overrates him. And he would always tell me, who would guard Jordan when you compared the two dream teams from '96. Peyton was on the '96 one. And Angelo always goes, I love Peyton, but he couldn't touch Jordan.
Are you sure you were talking about me?
Yeah. We've had this conversation before.
No, I think you're talking about somebody else.
I
mean, I was big on Dream Team, original Dream Team, but I don't remember having the Peyton argument with you.
I think anyway. We've done it on podcasts. We've done it on podcasts before. But what this showed, now I'll let Wayne work into it, because Gary Payton, when they finally put Gary Payton on Jordan, he did put a cog in the machine a little. But I'll let Wayne continue on with his introduction.
So real quick though, are you trying to say Dream Team 2 would have beat Dream Team 1 in a 7-game series?
Let's save that for Saturday, a different podcast, because that's a good one. We need to
quick answer is no, but go ahead, Wayne.
The quick answer is no, but it's closer than you think.
During that series, 96 versus Sonics, Gary Payton was guarding Jordan, and Jordan, in the third game, I believe, of the series. But part of it too was that Jordan's so competitive. He had known George Karl previously and was in a restaurant where George Karl was during the series, and George Karl never said anything to him, came by to say hello or anything like that. So next thing you know, Jordan's like, okay, I'm gonna use that as fuel. You want to be like that? You want to be shady? So I really respect and appreciate his competitive nature, and he takes everything personal, and I respect that.
Yeah, and I think that Sonics team, wasn't Sam Perkins on that team? Where I'm thinking Kendall Gill, you had Detlef Shrimp. Didn't you have Sean Kemp? Sean Kemp.
Yeah, you mentioned your boy Kemp.
Dude, I was just about to say Sean Kemp. You had Sean Kemp, Gary Payton. That was a quality team. That was one of those things where if they didn't, Jordan just axed all these good teams, Pippen, because that team might have won a title, right? I'm feeling like that team could have won a title.
Right. But if there was no Jordan, you know what I'm saying? That
I mean,
was
that's why. Yeah, that's why they said in the Jazz, the Knicks. I mean, that's like because that was a quality team. The Supersonics was.
and so that was part of that 95-96 season where he won the ring, and it was on Father's Day. So after he had came back, and when he from the transition of preparing during the summer, filming Space Jam, and then right into that season, he did end up winning it. And I think that was the season too where they had the best NBA season ever at that time, where they had the most wins. Is that right? 72?
I'm trying to think that year. I think that was that was that 96.
Yeah, they had 72 wins in 95-96.
72 and 10.
Wins.
Yep.
Yeah, 72 and 10. And that was they also with the losing the season before to the Magic. That's when they crushed the Magic that year. They swept the Magic actually, which was kind of impressive. Just to sweep the team that beat you.
Yeah, they were like basically they were like, all right, they got us last year. Let's bring it to them, So anything else on your notes there? We're gonna end this show. What else you got?
I mean, it's up to you, man. We could go ahead and end it now. I definitely am excited for the next episode. What are you excited to see in the next episode?
I mean, Chris was saying they had the Reggie Miller Pacers stuff, but I'm excited. But this went quick because we only got 2 more episodes left, so they're gonna have to bring it all together,
Yeah, I'm definitely excited to see this Reggie Miller portion, man. I think Reggie Miller was a big foe, as far as people that really got under it was definitely cool that he got under Jordan's skin the way he did. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Oh, for sure, man. I mean, I don't know what else do you think's gonna be in there. It's not gonna be 2 episodes of the Pacers, so it might be the Last Dance. They're gonna be like showing the I guess the end of the season and their title run, right? Their playoff run, or what? You know what I'm talking about?
Right. It'll be definitely towards the playoff run. I mean, that was what 98 conference finals where they played Reggie Miller, and I hope they show the choke.
Well, they'll show that. Are you showing the choke with what? With Spike Lee? What are you talking about? Or Reggie with the 3?
Yeah.
Oh, Dad, I don't even know they're gonna show that.
Well, we'll see, man. It'll be a it'll be interesting to see how they close it. But hey, this is Chaotic Sports.
All right, let's end it, man. You're gonna have to just go ahead.
That's Angelo Saboro, and we're out.
All right, just jump out because you ain't jumping out. You're gonna still be on. So I'll see you guys later.